Yo, what's good? King of the Pit TV, that's Des Rocksteady at KOTP TV signing in. Yo, I'm driving through a lot of, well, all the students are moving in currently, and I'm in the student area, so I thought, you know what, I've got a little bit of time to do a bit of recording. I was going to do so regardless, but fucking hell. Yeah. I think that sums it up really, people. I think that sums it up. So I'm going to do a little review and rating of Join the Army by Suicidal Tendencies. We've listened to this record on this channel. I've done essentially a first listen, song by song, commentary in the past. It wasn't so long back, but what I've done is I've re-listened to the record so I can give you a final overview and my opinion on this record. Now, let me start by saying it has its pros and cons, such as anything else, but the pros and cons are really quite bold in my world on this record, because we've come from the Suicidal Tendencies self-titled, and that was verging on a hardcore punk masterclass, to be fair with you. And now we're starting to incorporate the metal. Now we're making the transition into crossover thrash. In the centre, we've got the hardcore punk and we've got the thrash metal, alright? Whereas the self-titled, they were erring on like 80%, well, I'd say 85% hardcore punk, 15% metal music, and 5% of that would be the guitar solos, to be honest with you. 85%, yeah. I can't do maths at the. If that made sense, it made sense. If it didn't, don't blame me, people. So, Mike's vocals on this record have changed. He's not screaming in desperation like he was on the debut. He's reeled it in a bit, a little more coherent. You're able to identify and listen to what he's saying a little bit more, so a little more easier. He has, his voice works well on some tunes more so than others, but the tunes where his vocals don't work that well, like his singing vocals and his melodies come across a bit flat and so forth, you can either love it or hate it. And personally, initially, I heard Possessed to Skate years back. I saw the music video to it when I was like in high school, and I thought, what the hell is this? This was like before I started not only understanding but even touching like hardcore punk and whatnot, and that side of things. I thought, these vocals are absolutely naff, they're crap, they're terrible. Now I'll listen to them, and don't get me wrong, that tune Possessed to Skate, I still think, I like the riff, but I think the vocal performance is a bit crap. But I appreciate the ignorance of it. It's an ignorant vocal line, and that's really brilliant. That's really brilliant, because that's the whole punk rock, you know what I mean? And the fact that he's giving it a blast and giving it a go without sounding like Pavarotti or bloody Justin Bieber, you know what I mean? That's what I like, because that comes across as really honest on the record, and it's a great attempt of creating something special, and it does. It creates something very unique. So his vocals have changed up a bit, not as harsh, screaming at the wall like hardcore punk, but earring into the realm of, thrash metal, just without the falsetto. Riff-wise, instrumentally, we follow the same route as the vocal. The 3-chord punk doesn't exist as, I'd say as opposed to it being, 85% of the last record was like 3-4 chord hardcore punk riffs. Now we're looking at we've flip turned it. I'd say 15% of the record now is hardcore punk riffs, whereas the other 85% is thrash metal riffs, chug based riffs. The transition has happened. There's a couple of blinding numbers on this one. Join the Army, the title track, is a quality tune. Fantastic groove. Really good. What else have we got? We've got War Inside My Head, which could be one of the best riffs ever written, especially in accompaniment with the gang chant. It's simple, but it's so effective. Great riff. And then you got a few tunes, you know what I mean, in between, which I guess is up for your personal taste, what you think of them, because there's a spectrum of sounds, and there's a lot of material on the record. You know what I mean? There's a lot of material on the record. It's not like a Dream Theater tier of material, but they could have been done and dusted in 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Maybe this does last that long, but as far as the track listing, there's a lot of material. Do I think it's better than the self-titled? I guess it completely depends on your taste, if you like the metal or the punk. But me personally, I think overall, the self-titled record wins. I think the self-titled record is better because you're more concentrated on a particular sound. It's very consistent, whereas Join the Army has a few hits or misses, goes a bit off here and there, isn't as consistent. So I don't think it's as good as the self-titled. Rating wise, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. I was going to give it a 6, but I thought I'm being too lenient with these scores, so I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10, which in my world isn't bad, because that 5.5 is, there's good songs on the record, but in between them good songs, you know, they're not of incredible quality. They're not of incredible quality. It sounds like they're finding their feet in the metal at this point, but it's a great standard to set. The first 2 records I've listened to by Suicidal have set an incredible standard. I've got people commenting saying the next 5 records are where they really do well, and to me that is so bold a statement, but I believe it because it's such a bold statement. I can't not believe that. Normally we'll come in and bands like this will have their glory days in the first record, and to feel that the band is going to get better from these 2 records is just really exciting to me. I've had a look at the 3rd album. The song lengths are a little long. I've got an attention difficulty. That's why I listen to punk rock. My attention just, you know what I mean? If you're writing 4-minute songs, you need to keep my attention well. It needs to work, because otherwise I'll just zone out. So I'm looking forward to that. Without further ado, I'm signing out, people. One love.